Hello, I'm Charlie Thompson, and welcome to Physical Geography. This video will cover both my Physical Geography lecture class, Geography 300, and also Geography 301, Intro to Physical Geography Lab. Both of those classes are going to be taught pretty much the same way, and your experience on Canvas will be the same way, so it's the same video for both classes. So, for starters, there's a picture of me. There's my son. He's now 6'2". Anyway, if you need to get in touch with me, my email is tomsec@arc.losrios.edu. My phone number is 530-848-1244. Phone or text or email at your convenience, whatever you're comfortable with. Here are the student lounge hours. I will be holding Zoom hours Tuesday and Thursday, noon to 1:30. Wednesday from 4 to 5:30, Friday morning 9 to 10:30. That's all online. And here's the link that you'll use for all of those Zoom sessions. If you just click on it, it'll open up a link and take you to the appropriate Zoom page. All of the Zoom times are optional. You do not need to come. There are no scheduled classes. The only thing that's scheduled in this class are the assignments. So that's how to get a hold of me. The most important thing that I would tell you is please reach out, hit me with your questions. I know that this is going to be another stressful semester for everybody, you and me, and the more I can do to reduce your stress, the better off we're all going to be. So the Zoom times are for you. Those are for you to show up and ask me questions. If you want to go over material, if you want to explore things in more detail, whatever it is, you can show up to those times. You should know that if nobody shows up for like 15 minutes or so, I'm just going to close the window. And so what you'll want to do is email me or text and get a hold of me and say, hey, I'm in your Zoom session. Can you show up and answer questions? And then I will. Or if there's a time that works for you that is outside these times, that's totally fine with me. Just let me know and we'll set up something, and you can use the same link to go to the Zoom session and we'll set something up. So hopefully you've used Canvas before. Hopefully you've used Canvas before. If you haven't, there is built in a class on how to use Canvas. In fact, if you click over here with the help, you can chat with Canvas support. You can get support from ARC. There's a bunch of different Canvas resources. I've also included in the syllabus, there's a link to a sample class that you can go through and get the hang of using Canvas so that that's not as frightening once you start using the class. So that's how to get help with Canvas. That's how to find me. And you're just going to start with the Start Here button. The Start Here button is going to take you through, it'll show you this video. It goes over the class. Hey, welcome to Physical Geography. This is who I am. We won't meet in person. We'll have new materials. I'll open those up every Sunday. You'll have assignments due every Wednesday, a quiz, a discussion post, maybe something else, and then other assignments due every Sunday, detailed quiz, maybe something else. So every week, you know that you will have assignments due Wednesday, at least 2 assignments due Wednesday, and at least 1 assignment due Sunday. So here is a link to the Canvas sample class. And here's a link that's an introduction to how to use Canvas. Once you've watched the video, click on the next button to go to the next thing. This tells you more about the class. You should be expecting to spend 10 to 12 hours a week to be successful. Because of this, you will need to establish a strict daily and weekly study schedule and hold yourself to it. I think it's very, very, very important right off the bat. In fact, one of my questions that I ask you in the About You survey is, given that you're going to have new materials are going to drop every week, and every Wednesday, every Sunday, you're going to have assignments that are due. Please tell me what your weekly study schedule is going to be. What days are you going to set aside to devote to physical geography? So this module will tell you about me, the course website, the course syllabus, how the semester goes. There's a quiz that you have to get 100% on. After you get 100% on it, the rest of the course is unlocked. So the assignments for the first chapter, read chapter 00. The first chapter of the textbook is chapter 0. I don't know why we did that, but we did. There are Google Slides for each of the chapters based off of the lecture material. There are also lecture slide videos. So that's a video of me talking about the lecture slides, expanding, providing more information, giving context, making connections. And those last two parts are really important because I realize that none of you should have any background in physical geography. You're just taking this class without any background, any idea about what's going on with physical geography. And so it's incumbent on me to help you understand how the information in this chapter connects to other chapters. It's important for me to put everything into context. How does this relate to the larger picture of geography? How does what we're doing now relate to what we've done previously? And those lecture videos are testable. I will let you know which materials, which videos are testable and which videos are not testable. Your first discussion post is due Wednesday the 20th at midnight. You've got a response paper on the geospatial revolution videos. That's going to be due Sunday the 24th at midnight. I try to keep everything easy. Everything is either, unless something crazy happens, you should just plan everything is going to be due either Wednesday or Sunday, except for the exams. For the exams, you'll have a 2-day window that you can take the exam in, but everything else is going to be due Wednesday or Sunday. There's a pre-quiz. There's a short pre-quiz for each chapter. Did you get the basic ideas before you go on? And then there's a longer, more detailed quiz due Sunday. So there's a pre-quiz due Wednesday, post-quiz due Sunday. I will leave comments on your assignments when I grade them. And here's a link to a help file that'll help you find out how to see those comments, because there's no point me leaving comments if you don't know they're there. Well, now you know they're there, but if you know they're there but you can't see them, you'll have to track them down. So that's a link on how to see the help files on my comments. All of the syllabus information exists in the syllabus, which I have as a PDF. And it's also in the syllabus in here. So let's go to the next page. There's a syllabus quiz. I have, until last semester, I've never given syllabus quizzes. I thought they were silly. But in class, I could talk to you, we could have a conversation, but since we don't, and I need for you to know what's important on the syllabus, or to find information on the syllabus, so I've given you a quiz. You can just keep taking it again and again and again until you get it all right. None of the questions are supposed to be tricky. It's just information about your class, information about the syllabus. Like, how do you get a hold of me? What's my policy for late work? What's the textbook? All of that's in the syllabus in that one document. And it's also broken down into chunks in the syllabus on Canvas. There's also a brief about you survey. It looks like I've locked that. I'll have to fix that. That reminds me. And let me go back. So, from time to time, in fact, probably every week, I will make some sort of mistake. I will leave something locked. I will forget to include a link. I'll give you the wrong number. I'll do something wrong. I will give you 5 points, or I will give 5 points of extra credit for the first person to let me know about a mistake. So I figure it's worth it for you to be the first person. I want to know as soon as possible so that I can fix it, so that I don't mess up other students. That's the absolute worst thing that I think I can do as a teacher, is to give you wrong information. So 5 points extra credit if you're the first person to let me know I've made a mistake on the materials. And then here's the syllabus broken down into chunks. Here's how to find me. Goes over the student learning outcomes, goes over information for disabled students or people that use DSPS services. If you have an accommodation, if you could send that to me, that would be fantastic. Just send me the email of the PDF that you got from DSPS. Communication, how to get in touch with me. course policies and grading, including late work, student expectations, course materials, technology requirements, online class discussions, a little bit more information about what I'm expecting from those discussions, library resources, student support highlights. So yeah, I don't necessarily want to go through the entire syllabus now. Let's go back to the home page. Here's the home page. And here's the modules. So if I click on modules, here is the first module, start here. And if you click on first page, it'll just go through it sequentially. There's the syllabus module with all of its information, and then chapter 0. So for the first chapter, and again, lecture lab, it's not going to matter. For lab, it's going to be lab 1. For lecture, it's chapter 0. The first page is usually called something like start here. Yeah, look at that. Chapter 1, start here. Chapter 0, start here. So there's usually a graphic that I've picked because it shows something. So here we've got latitude and longitude lines over Google Earth. Here's the key concepts for the chapter. And I will give you a rundown of all of the assignments for that chapter. So the start here page for each chapter, for each lab, it's going to tell you exactly what you've got to do that week for that chapter or that lab. Watch. Read the chapter. Read chapter I. Read the first chapter of the textbook. Watch the lecture slide video. I will group the videos together because there are so many good geography videos out. So much better being a student today than any other time in history. I'm firmly convinced, because if a picture's 1,000 words, well, moving pictures have to be worth 1,000,000 words. And the videos that explain things in geography are just fantastic. Video response. So there's an assignment for the video for these geospatial revolution videos. Here's the pre-quiz, here's the discussion post, and here's the chapter 1 post-quiz. It gives you the due dates, and you can go through it one by one. So here's the pre-quiz. Here's the information about the discussion post. And let me say, the discussion post is incredibly important. The discussion posts are very, very, very important. It is, in fact, I realized last semester, it is the most important factor in students' grades. That the number one factor that I could sort of look at a student, if I was going to pick one factor to look at a student's assignments and go, yeah, they're going to pass, or no, they're not going to pass, it's going to be the discussions. The people that made the discussion posts got good grades. Most of the people that ended up not passing, for whatever reason, blew off the discussions, didn't have time to do the discussions. I'm not expecting masterpieces, but I am expecting quality content. So this first discussion announcement, you can read through one of the discussions related to the first chapter. So after you read the first chapter, this would be easier. You'll have a clue what the chapter's about. So I post announcements to the homepage of the course. That's where you can go to find the announcements. You can talk about one of the videos. You can't use my video, the videos that I've made, but you can use the other videos to talk about interesting or challenging, or then you could also talk about a topic that you found challenging. I had problems with this concept, or this was the most interesting part of the chapter. So you've got 4 different options. You can talk about an announcement, one of the videos, or content that you found either challenging or interesting. So the important parts about this are that you are specific. Just restating a few things. Please note, restating a few things is not acceptable. You need to be specific. You need to include details about what specifically was interesting or how it related. So the discussion questions, I think you got, by this point, you probably got the point. The discussion questions are very, very, very important. And then after you make your response, you'll be able to see what other people have to say. After that, here's the geospatial revolution response paper. Here is the video. It's embedded there. You can copy the link and open it up in YouTube. I want you to watch 2 of these videos, and you'll notice in the comments on YouTube, everybody that's there is saying, dude, are you doing this for paper too? Is everybody here? Did everybody get assigned this? So watch episode 1. Here's episode 1 and your choice of either 2 or 3 or 4. 2 is on business and government. 3 is security and wealth and warfare. 4 is public health and safety. So before you try to answer this, I'm going to suggest that you read your textbook. The textbook goes over things like the global positioning system, remote sensing, active and passive remote sensing, LiDAR, geographic information systems. I've also included links to the Wikipedia pages, and I really suggest that you read those before you try to answer the questions. Wikipedia is fantastic. I think Wikipedia got slammed early on because of big encyclopedia. I think a lot of people were threatened by this new digital media and didn't understand it's not paper, it's not printed. And so generations of students now have been scarred by teachers saying, oh, you can't use Wikipedia. Wikipedia is awesome. Wikipedia is fantastic. In fact, if you don't get a concept from the chapter, I would say just Google that. Go to the Wikipedia page for that concept, whatever it is, plate tectonics, cold fronts, warm fronts, whatever. The Wikipedia article on that is probably going to be great. So back to this. You need to include specific examples, and then I give you an example of what I mean by a specific example. I just made up something. There's the video, and it says it's a quiz because of the way Canvas works. The test or assignment creation tools, it's the quiz tool. So anything you make with it is a quiz. It's not a quiz. It's just a bunch of short answer statements for you to do. We're not going to take the quiz now. And then there's a second quiz for each chapter. For lab, you'll have a pre-lab quiz that'll be short. And then you'll have the actual lab assignment that you'll also do online, just like this quiz. All of the assignments are going to be online. And I was going to say that's it for the first chapter. And then we'd move on to the second module. So that covers where the syllabus is, how to find me, how to contact me, what my student lounge hours are, where you can come and ask me questions about geography. There's the link to Zoom. And if you have any questions, please get in touch with me. Email is great. Phone is fine. You can text me. I don't care. It all works out great. Welcome to geography, and I hope you have a fantastic semester.